All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to Channel Dad Reads. And as I said earlier today, we're going to have a second Captain Marvel oriented movie article and video. This one is actually more about Captain Marvel as opposed to less about Brie Larson. The other one was more of a pop culture. This is more of a brain muffin at the movies, as I could say. And so this is an article it's very interesting. I just found it actually today. I think it came out yesterday, and some of this is things that I've speculated, and some of it Kevin Feige, as my hair's all sticking up, has confirmed. Although he was saying Phase 4 previously, and then we had the Phase 4 schedule come out, and there's no real Captain Marvel stuff in Phase 4. In fact, there's very little of anything. To me, this says it's a transition phase. I don't know why my hair's sticking up like that. To see what Disney Plus is going to do. I mean, they had 11-year run with everything else, 11 and a half years, and it's a huge change of pace and change of direction. So I think Phase 4 is really Marvel trying to figure out what in the world they're really going to do. And before we get started on this article, I'd like you very much thank you very much if you would click the like button, give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe. It's a simple request for a somewhat simple man, and I'll try not to be either Jeremy or Gary. I don't have a camera to look off to like he does. It's awesome. So let's get started on the article. If I click on the right tab, maybe I'll find what I'm looking for. And I decided to do it this way because people really like the last ones that I've done. And yes, we'll be getting into some more coronavirus stuff tomorrow. I've got several articles to go over. Marvel has reportedly met Brie Larson's demands to lead the new team in Avengers 5. So I didn't know. I know Brie Larson had been talking about more inclusion, more diversity, as well as equal pay. I didn't know she was demanding. Like I said, Feige has already reported she'd be leading. And it does make sense for the Captain Marvel character, given how they presented her in the movies, to take over. Now, we can argue about the comics all day long, but in the movies, that was just kind of that part. So and every time, every article, so this is Perry Carpenter, every article always has to say $1 billion at the box office, as if to put it in the hater's face. Appearing the highest grossing film of all time in Avengers Endgame, Marvel reported wants Larson to lead the new team in Avengers 5. How will fans react to Larson taking on the big role? This really feels familiar, but it is March 22nd is when it's dated. I thought I could have sworn we've been down here. And this image just shows up in every now. This one is on cheatsheet.com. Maybe, I don't know. This is the latest thing though. We've already covered this, where Brie really, because she's on a set there and people expected her to be in Infinity War and other parts of Endgame, and she wasn't. And this is just a test of the suit. It's nothing more than they had her come down. That was just the set that was up that day, and they had to do some moves and to see how the suit was going to look, how it was going to work, how it was going to flow, which makes perfect sense. So Marvel's casting of Larson as Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, has met with plenty of skepticism. Prior to the release of Captain Marvel, fans started a campaign again. Yeah, this is the LGBT. Maybe you guys stop mentioning it. It'll stop growing. It's not got a lot of signatures. I've covered it twice. All the negative attention went away after the film proved to be a massive success at the box office. No, the negative attention has actually kept on going. Went on a reprise role in Endgame, is poised to be. Okay, so let's get to the meat and potatoes of this article, shall we? That said, fans continue to speak out against the actress. A small number of viewers have been starting a petition to have Brie Larson removed. Okay, we've already talked about that. Oh yeah, and I did fail to mention that I'm here. It's hard to see. This beer is not as dark as it looks, but I still have to shoot a review of that one. It's my own beer. And Marvel out the studio is aware of the backlash, but they don't really care. Marvel has not released information regarding Avengers 5, a project that was missing from Phase 4 titles. Again, I believe it's because they're really trying to see where things go with Phase 4. They really don't know how people are going to react. We've got WandaVision. I could have sworn there is a Miss Marvel TV show as well. There's a couple other of Disney Plus pieces, and really, I think a lot of that depends. We've got Ant-Man, we've got Black Panther 2. There's several people who have been involved with MCU for far longer than Brie Larson has, that really it's their time to shine a little bit brighter now that Robert is gone, Chris Evans is gone, and Scarlett Johansson is somewhat gone. Now, obviously, we're going to get a Black Widow movie, though it's a bit of a prequel. I suspect if things don't go well and Scarlett wants to come back, they'll probably find a way to bring her back to life. A lot can change before Marvel starts development of Avengers 5, but an insider source just told we got this covered, that the studio has agreed to let Larson lead the new team Avengers. And I'll bring that up on another tab and we'll check that out. If you're worried about Brie Larson, Brie's MCU future, let us remind you about this. The 7 movie deal. So I don't know, a huge 7 movie deal. So technically she's been in what, 2 of them now or 3? I guess it depends on how much screen time she's supposed to have before it considers being in a movie. Considering how fans reacted to Larson's casting, it's safe to assume that they will not be thrilled by the news. Now that Iron Man, and this is, people have argued with me that Spider-Man was going to be taken over. And I was like, no, it doesn't fully make sense. Even, if Spider-Man wasn't owned by Sony, I'm sure it would have been more active in the MCU prior to it. The source also noted the studio plans on paying Larson the same as her male counterparts. Now, that is not necessarily a good thing, because if the movies don't do well, I think people are going to be making less. They're not giving her Robert Downey Jr. money, levels of money, because, I mean, he was consistently bringing in people. One of the big reasons why people were watching those movies. And her Captain Marvel movie was situated between 2, and there was a lot of fear of missing out, which turned out to not be needed or the case. So until she has a movie stand on its own, it's going to be tough to say what she's going to be making. She did make significantly more money than Robert did on his first MCU movie, so that there's that. I think he got 500,000 and she got 5 million or something like that. Well, it sounds like Captain Marvel will be leading her new fellow Avengers into a battle in Avengers 5. There's a competing theory that her role is upcoming crossover. So yeah, there is, and I've covered that. Oh my God, I hate it when this thing does this. This is this. Shoot, I don't know if it'll go back down. But it's blown itself out of proportion. There we go. Reset. The one thing I hate about Magic Mouse with Chrome, it does that way too often. That posed by some kind of alien entity and is similar to what happened to Jean Grey. We covered that previously as well. I'm trying to remember to put all these things in links in either in the video or in the description when I make this thing go public. I haven't decided when I'm going to publish this. That is one of the features we talked about last week. One of the theories is that they'll turn her evil, or she'll be possessed. I think this is an interesting way to bring Monica Rambeau, if they really do a Miss Marvel TV show in Disney Plus, one way. And there's even talk about having Rogue come in, some of the X-Men come in. I think it'd be an interesting way, kind of a twist, if you will, on the story, where let's say she is possessed by an outside source, and when she goes into, Rogue touching her and taking her powers is taking her the evil, making the evil go dormant, if you will, would be an interesting twist. So we'll see. Under the control of the entity, Carol will turn on her friends, and she will and who will team up to take her down. Marvel, of course, has not confirmed these rumors, so fans will likely have to wait until we get closer to production to find out. Yeah, I don't think they really know what they want to do. Will She-Hulk also be in Avengers 5? This has also been going around as well. Marvel has done a great job keeping spoilers to a minimum, but the studio may have released a major plot detail about Avengers 5. Producers recently released a casting call for that coming Disney Plus series She-Hulk. There's another one story that's thing that's going to be on that series on there. So 26 to 34 to play Jennifer Walters. The last line of the casting call reveals the character is a future member of the Avengers, which might mean She-Hulk will make the first jump from the small screen of the MCU. Yeah, this is something that now I stopped. Was it season 4 or 5 of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The fact that they didn't make it into the movies really irritated me. And they talked about those events and Jessica Jones and all that, but they really should have had these characters come in some fashion. Maybe by the time we get to Endgame, there's just too many of them, but they could have been in that last battle. In the comics, Bruce Banner gives Jennifer a blood transfusion to save her life. This gives her powers similar to Hulk, although she does have a easier time controlling her transformations. The character will debut in the show with premiere on Disney Plus, so it's not released timeline. I think Avengers 5 is Phase 5, maybe. It really, really depends. And that is the end of the article, I think, because now we're into Sister Wives. But that is quite interesting. And, I think, I don't know how much this leads. I think a lot of this is clickbait title here that her demands, but we don't know. I mean, I know Kevin Feige has talked about it before. I'm gonna see if this page will load. From we got this covered. It's been in a background and a tab for a while, and it hasn't loaded. Okay, I'm gonna bring this one up to see if this gives us any information. I'm clicking the wrong tabs. That really helps when I click the right tab. Chrome tab. Nope, that's the wrong one still. Come on. The thing is it's still trying to load. I might as well just click cancel on it. It's trying to load a video. I'm trying to record a video, and my daughter's streaming. Okay, so this is equal pay. Bugger off. Stop your video. I don't care. I also don't want a copyright strike. Maybe the new team leader. Yeah, and I think this is quite accurate. Be fair to say that Captain Marvel isn't everybody's favorite member. I don't know if she's anybody's favorite member of the Avengers. And here's what's funny. This has happened. Is this an old article? I may have read this. This is 5 days ago. So we got this covered multiple times. I've gone here for Captain Marvel and some not Scarlet Witch, but Black Widow stuff, Black Widow articles. And it's amazing how often this image is like on every page. Now I know this is a behind the scenes for favorite MCU movies, but it is amazing how often this one image shows up. I'm guessing people really like it. The Russo brothers and Chris Evans and some of the better MCU movies, Captain America. And I think that's part of why they like it so much. The same ones that told us the Guardians of the Galaxy was set to cameo in Thor. Okay, yeah. This feels like an article I have read. So, but anyway, there you go. So, what do you think about the possibility? I'm gonna bring that one back up. I wish I could just switch tabs and it would switch, but that's unfortunately not how StreamYard works, at least not in Chrome. But there you go. So reportedly has met her demands. How strong is how much of the clickbait is demands there? But I think that we already knew this in many ways. This has been confirmed, and I believe it's really up to figuring out what Phase 4 is going to be like. We'll know by the end of Phase 4 who's leading the Avengers. Just depends on how much the normies come back. If the normies don't come back, they may just end it. They may just say, if Disney Plus is pulling enough, they'll do 5 or 6 different Disney Plus shows. I don't know if Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is still going on Netflix. Like I said, I stopped watching it a long time ago. I mean, I watched it on Netflix. I watched the first season of Jessica Jones. I got about halfway through the second season and I couldn't take it anymore. Wasn't really interested in the Punisher and Iron Fist and some of those other ones, but people like them, some of them. And I think that's what really, and now with the coronavirus basically killing the economy worldwide, we're probably going to just get TV shows. We may not even get a whole Phase 4. Disney may have to cancel it or delay it, and then the actors will be too old or something. Who knows? Don't know what the future is, and don't be quoting me on saying I'm a doomsday prophet or anything, but who knows? But in my view, this was already a settled deal. Kevin Feige already announced it, and at least into Phase 4 and Phase 5. But I think a lot of it just depends on how well the movies do or don't do. If they don't do well, like I said, I think we'll just have Disney Plus shows. If they do well, then yeah. Because if Captain Marvel 2 pulls in another $1 billion and it's not shoehorned between 2 other movies and it's not fear of missing out, that's $2 billion movies that she's responsible for. So why not? That's just that. If you're pulling that kind of dough, then the actor should be rewarded, male or female. So there we go. Whether you agree with her or her politics, you like her, it doesn't matter. If she can pull in that kind of cash like Robert Downey Jr. did, then she deserves it. All right. Thanks for stopping by. And thanks again for clicking like and subscribing. And yes, we'll be doing all kinds of videos while I'm on quasi house arrest here at home in Ohio as the governor goes nuts, at least until as long as I'm employed. Because then when I'm unemployed, I don't know if I'll have the money to pay for my internet anymore. But we'll see what happens. And goodbye.